Kawasaki. The name means one thing: high performance. Tough, dependable, and fast. Red-hot Kawasaki's for work or play.
Welcome back to Dirt Obsession, everyone. Let me start this one off by saying that it brings me no pleasure to report on any ATV leaving the market, especially a flagship machine from one of the big four Japanese manufacturers who have been in the game since the beginning of four-wheelers. And I'm hoping that this video doesn't age well, so as soon as there are updates, we'll be sure to get them out. But as of right now, there is no Kawasaki Brute Force 750 available in Kawasaki's 2024 ATV lineup announced in June. So let's dig in. Last year, we took a look at the 2023 Kawasaki Brute Force 750 where we talked about the Brute Force making a great option, even though it was getting a little long in the tooth and due for an update. There may have been some writing on the wall with the Brute Force lineup last year because the only noteworthy changes from 2022 was dropping the non-EPS version from the lineup and changing the color of the racks. Kawasaki didn't even update the Brute Force's gallery on their website, they just digitally changed the rack colors in their photos. So obviously, the Brute Force 750 not returning for 2024 when Kawasaki released their ATV lineup has some heavy implications for Brute Force fans and potential new customers. But I'm hoping to see a late release, which isn't all that uncommon in the market, especially in the post-COVID environment, or an update that addresses some of the items that we discussed last year. Last year, I mentioned that it would be great to see some suspension and tire changes on the Brute Force, with Kawasaki leveraging the existing relationships they already have established with Fox and Maxxis for an upgraded version of the Brute similar to what Kawasaki offers on the Teryx 800. It would also be great to see Kawasaki update their ancient diff lock engagement on their 4x4 system, which is currently a manual lever engagement that was featured on the Prairie 650 all the way back in 2002. The Teryx 800 is the same motor used in the Brute Force, bored out for more displacement, so maybe we could see a Japanese manufacturer finally take the leap into the true ultra-bore segment of 800cc's and up, which could theoretically be done without significant chassis revisions. The most ideal upgrade I can imagine is some of those improvements that we've mentioned to existing Brute Forces, along with some chassis geometry upgrades and fine-tuning of the electronic power steering for a late-year release. We've seen Kawasaki do similar upgrade and releases, most notably on the KLR 650 a few years back, where it disappeared from the lineup unceremoniously and then returned in an upgraded version with fuel injection and geometry changes. However, there's certainly some other routes Kawasaki could go. I think the worst case scenario is relatively unlikely, and that would be that the big Brute Force is leaving the market indefinitely. I could also see Kawasaki partnering with another manufacturer to rebrand an existing machine as a Brute Force. They already do this with the Brute Force 300, the same machine as the Altera and Tracker 300, which I believe is manufactured by Kemco. Arctic Cat has done this in a few different segments. Yamaha's snowmobiles that are leaving the market this year were rebranded Arctic Cats, and as most of you know, the Cat ATVs are already rebranded as Trackers. So I think this is a possibility, although I hope it's not the route Kawasaki goes, only because I like seeing manufacturers actually manufacture their machines. That's what gives us options in the market and makes the machines worthy of comparative shopping, with different strengths and weaknesses. The Kymco MXU 700 would be another route Kawasaki could go if they do go the way of rebranding, and that's a solid base for a competitive machine that doesn't currently have a vast dealer network in the US. But the big single-cylinder class is getting a little more crowded this year, most notably with Can-Am entering the category, and Brute Force lovers will tell you that the big twin that's long been featured in the Brute Force 750 is its biggest selling point. So I hope Kawasaki considers that selling point in whatever version may be released. As I also mentioned last year, there's been rumors floating around for a few years that Kawasaki may enter the mid-displacement class, something in the 400 to 600cc displacement size. And I honestly expected to see that released last June when Kawasaki actually released their new youth ATVs. So I think that potential still exists, but hopefully that won't be a replacement for the big bore Brute either. At the end of the day, I don't see Kawasaki pulling out of the ATV market altogether, so I do expect to see something from them, hopefully in the near future. But what do you think? What's the most likely move from Kawasaki, and do you think the Brute will be back? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for checking out the video, guys. I look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you next time right here on Dirt Obsession.